Today, I'm making 4 very different decisions in my $1 million portfolio. I'm not trying to force every position into the same strategy. I'm using the same tools across the portfolio, but each ETF has a different job and a different situation. Today, you'll see why I left one position completely alone, why I doubled my QQQ position, how I barely managed to roll a covered call out of the money on SPY, and why I skipped options altogether on VIG and simply bought more shares before the upcoming dividend. Let's get started. Let's start with GLD. This is the easiest decision today because I didn't make one. Gold has pulled back. Both of my puts are now in the money, and the position is already around 10% of my portfolio. If I rolled those puts today, I would probably just be locking in more exposure than I really want. Instead, I'm going to let time work for me and wait until we get closer to expiration. If I can, I'd rather roll those puts down and back out of the money while keeping gold closer to my target allocation. Sometimes the best portfolio decision is to simply wait. Based on my goal of about 10% of my account being devoted to gold, I am actually more than a little bit overcommitted. The value of my shares right now is between 96 and 97,000. But these 2 cash secured puts at $395 are in the money and using $79,000 worth of collateral. They each still have about $125 of extrinsic value that will erode over the next 22 days. And my hope is that the price of this gold ETF will recover. So I'm going to leave them alone until closer to expiration and roll them down and out and try to either exit them or at least reduce my strike price below the current share price. So for today, there's really nothing I need to do with gold. QQQ was almost the opposite. I wanted to continue building the position, so today I bought another 250 shares. Then I sold 2 covered calls, but for different reasons. One strike I'd like to keep, and the other I would be perfectly happy to let go if the market keeps moving higher. I also discovered that I had forgotten to record an 800+ trade in my spreadsheet. Fortunately, it was good news. Once I corrected everything, I realized that this position is actually stronger than I thought. So let's walk through those trades. Because I have already decided that QQQ should make up about 25% of my portfolio, and right now the covered call premiums seem to be quite high, I decided to add 225 shares today and sell some covered calls. At the beginning of this trade session, I had 82 shares of QQQ in the account, and I bought 250 shares. So when I added up all of my expense and income to date, beginning with the 170 shares I bought in March, I am now out of pocket $216,833, and I have 342 shares. When I divide my total expense by 342, I can see that my out-of-pocket cost per share is just over $634. I'm going to look at the options chain for July 17th. I would be willing to sell 100 shares at $735 and would consider that a good profitable trade, especially because I can bring in over $1,000 of options premium for the contract. But I'd rather not let go of all of my shares. So I'm going to also sell a covered call for a little more premium with a $750 strike price. And my hope and my plan is to try to retain at least 150 of these 250 shares, and ideally I will just keep rolling these covered calls for income. The $730 call just filled at $12.73, and the $750 call filled at $5.64. For my collateral value, I'm using $715 a share, which is about what I just paid for the shares I'm using to cover these calls. giving me solid annualized returns of almost 31% and a little more than 13% on the 2 contracts. And now that I've sold these calls, I've reduced my average out-of-pocket, which in turn reduces my adjusted cost per share to $628. And actually looking back at my transaction history, I realized that I forgot to put something on my spreadsheet. On June 5th, I sold a cash secured put that expires July 17th, and I have not been including that income in my calculations. So looking back here in my transaction history, I sold this July 17th cash secured put and received $8.37 a share for it. So I'm going to recalculate these numbers and just make sure that everything's right. That $834 that I failed to account for has improved my position actually quite a bit. And now when I look back at QQQ, I have a put that is out of the money and 2 covered calls out of the money, well above my cost basis. The net liquidating value of the position is $242, so that's right in line with my goals of keeping it at about 25% of my overall account. Now for SPY. This one took a little creativity. I added more shares, managed to roll a covered call just barely back out of the money, and I had to double the number of contracts to make that roll work for a credit. Then I sold another cash secured put. For me, that put was basically a paid limit order. If SPY drops, I'm happy to buy another 100 shares at the price I chose. And if it doesn't, I'll just be happy to keep the premium. And now let's take a look at SPY. So with SPY, I already have a covered call which is in the money. So my plan is to add more than 100 shares. I'll try to roll this call up and out since it's expiring in 5 days, and I'll sell a new cash secured put. I just paid $732.01 for 125 shares. I'm going to try to roll this covered call out and up and see if I can move it out of the money. I may be able to generate just a few cents per share by rolling it to $730. But since I just bought 125 shares, I'm going to see what I could do if I sold 2 contracts at $750. That would still cost me, if I dropped the price to $745, I would still be paying for the roll rather than being paid for the roll. And if I drop to $740, by extending this contract from 5 days to 22 days, I can bring in $260, sell 2 covered calls above my cost basis, with both of them out of the money. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll increase my potential capital gains by $20 a share on one of the contracts. And the other contract, based on the shares that I just purchased, could bring me potentially $900 of capital gains. Okay, that just filled at $291. So the current open contract is now closed. And for the collateral value for the 2 calls that I just sold, I'm going to use the current share price times 200. So for the options premium, I have a pretty small annualized rate of return of just 3.28%. But if the share price increases to 740 and these are called away, I will be earning capital gains on top of this $289. So the net liquidating value of this position is $217.57, and I have enough buying power to sell a cash secured put, which I'm going to sell pretty far out of the money just for a small premium, so that if the share price pulls back, I might be assigned to buy more shares. I'm going to sell at $680, and that just filled at $175 per share. So this $680 contract is basically a limit order to buy 100 shares at $680. And rather than just placing it as a limit order, I'm getting paid $174 for my willingness to buy another 100 shares at that price. VIG needed a completely different approach. I've been saying for a while that this position is smaller than I ultimately want it to be. I want this dividend ETF to be taking up about 40% of my portfolio. I looked at selling options today, but the premiums just weren't attractive enough. So instead of forcing a trade, I just bought more shares before the upcoming dividend. After the ex-dividend date, I'll take another look and see where the share price is and decide whether options make sense then. Sometimes just buying the shares is the best trade. And the last piece I'm going to look at is VIG. I really have been slow to enter this position, and there's an ex-dividend date coming up very soon, probably within the next few days. I have 488 shares, and my net liquidity is only $114,000, and my goal is to make this position about 40% of the portfolio. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and buy 200 shares. So I'll qualify for the June dividend, and then I'll sell a covered call above my purchase price. And let's go all the way out to August and look at a $250 covered call. There are no bids. I see some bids at $245, and I see a $210 bid at $240. Not really loving this. Not really happy that both of my calls are in the money, but that is only 200 of the 688 shares at risk. I think I'm going to wait and see where things land after the dividend, and then I'll make some decisions about selling some cash secured puts and trying to increase the strike price of my calls. So that's today's portfolio update. 4 ETFs, 4 different decisions, but they all support the same long-term goal: building positions, generating income when it makes sense, and keeping the overall portfolio close to where I want it. As this portfolio gets larger, I think these decisions become even more interesting because it's less about managing individual trades and more about managing the portfolio as a whole. If you're enjoying the journey, subscribe so you don't miss the next update. And if you have questions or if you would have handled one of these positions differently, let me know in the comments. I always enjoy seeing how other investors think through these kinds of situations.